Oh, cool.
Lilymon can evolve into
It
Banjo
looks like
Lilymon.
it's working.
It is said that only Digimon who
I
have
wonder
won
if it
battles
sounds
with
really
fierce
good. I
powers
hope it
without
does.
being broken
Just
can
started using
acquire the title of Banjo, and in the
a
history of digital
switchboard.
world observation, only 5
Alright, we don't
Digimon
need
have
this
this
right
title.
now.
The term Banjo originated
Okay,
in the
cool.
20th century and is a
Photoshop.
Japanese term that refers to the leader of a group of delinquents that follow a specific code of honor and wear uniforms known as the Special Attack Uniform, commonly associated with these Japanese biker gangs. Banjo Lilymon is an ultimate level, fairy-type Digimon, with the data attribute, and a member of the Wind Guardians fields, with a deep crimson
Hmm.
uniform that envelops the dark-colored flower. The special attack is called Absolute Territory. Have you heard the rumor that Bobamon was originally a Rosemon cursed into this form? This Digimon also wears the jewel with the Tiferet symbol. This is an ultimate level ancient type Digimon that looks like an old woman, which is what Baba means in Japanese, but used in a rude way. This Digimon has the attribute vaccine and belongs to the Virus Busters field. With the special attack, Empress Haze, this Digimon is able to erase a bad virus by swinging a magic broom in the right hand. Rosemon is an
Alright,
emerald
so
head with a fairy-type Digimon
hello
called
everyone. How's it
Lotusamon.
going? We're going
Together they
to.
evolve into Reflecimon, the ultimate fairy Digimon that
Cool.
is said to be the largest flower in the digital world.
So we're going
The
to
name is a
design.
reference to Reflection Arnoli,
So
as
I've
a
recently
result
gotten
of
into the
World's
Digimon
windier
card game, and
stinky
I
forest
like it a
symbol, a
lot. But I'll
species
be
of flowering
honest.
plant, and the world's largest
Um,
bloom.
I
When
like
it blooms, the
designing the
reflection hits
stuff
a
that,
repulsive
like the
odor,
peripherals that go
similar to
around
that
it,
of rotting
more
meat.
than actually playing
This
the game.
odor
And I
attracts
really like to
insects
play the
that
game. I even
pollinate the plant.
went to a local
Reflecimon
store
has the data attribute
championship
and has
tournament,
a beautiful
having
appearance that
never
attracts
played the
everyone,
game before
but
just
emits a
because I wanted
tremendous
to play
strange
it.
odor.
So my friend and
The
I went,
lifespan of this Digimon is
competed,
very short and
lost
ceases to exist after just a few
most of
days.
the rounds. It was
Therefore, there is little
it's
chance
called a
of seeing
Swiss
Reflecimon,
round,
who's
and that's
called the
where
miracle flower.
so you have everybody
The special
and they
attack is
pair
designed to
off and they're
sleep
like,
like a
here's the
Banjo
battle,
doll
and
in
then the
ballet mode.
winner
It utilizes the
then
large yellow
battles the
petals that
winner from
dance around its
this, but then
reflective,
the loser
deflecting the
battles the
shots
loser
so
from
that no
this,
enemy can
and
escape.
you keep going
The
around
second
until
attack,
someone's
whistling, can cause anyone to lose
undefeated,
consciousness and turn into Reflessimon's
undie,
servants.
till someone's undie. That is
Now, I
the
want to move
important
on
part
to
to
next
remember
Digi
about
Buddy
the
form,
Swiss Miss
and the first
Tournament.
one I will be talking about is Palmon X. This is
E,
a child level,
not
plant type,
B.
with the data attribute,
Let's get
and
rid of that.
belongs to
Actually, let's do that
nature's
quicker.
purest
Control
field.
A,
The tropical and
delete,
radiant flower of the head became
and
more
fill it with
noticeable,
white,
and its color and scent
and we're
became
good.
more prominent in Palmon's
And
emotions.
thankfully,
When Palmon
this
X gets
allowed
angry,
me to
the red
remember the
petals have a
important
powerful
part,
smell, and when sad,
which
the
is
blue-green petals give a
don't
cool
edit
smell
on the
that pumps the
background.
enemy's energy to
If
fight.
you're gonna draw,
When Palmon
don't
X
draw on
is
the
happy,
background.
the scent plunges nearby Digimon into a hallucination,
Actually, lock
causing
it
them to
down,
escape
like
from
lock it down
reality
for
to the
real,
yellow petals. These
so
odorous
you
mist
can't edit
provide
it
to
and then move
produce
up
the
to
attack,
one. I
Arcane
wish
Fury. Digimon scratched by the
I don't
corrosive
understand
shards get
why
their
the
spirits
background layer
temporarily confused due to the
starts off
synthesized poison.
saying it's locked, but it doesn't act. It lets you edit it
Palmon X
anyways.
evolves into Tagamon X, an adult
It's
level,
not
plant
cool.
type with the data attribute, and belongs to the
I
nature's
wonder if you can hear
purest
what
field.
I'm listening to in
Tagamon
the
was
background. I
aware
should
of
probably
something
turn it
hidden in the
off.
depths of their
One
life, and
second.
began to roam the world alone. Without many opportunities to interact with other Digimon in the desert or in the wilderness, Tagamon
Cool. That was loud. I wonder if it would be good to have like elevator music playing while we're doing this because th- th- there's gonna be times where it's gonna be hard to talk and do this stuff all at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead and get back to work. So we got our other layer up, and let's get back down to here. And select this, unselect this. Now we can write whatever we want. So the idea is to do design work. We're doing design work on surrounding the Digimon card game because I want to make my own custom playmat. And so, first things first, how do you go about doing that? Um, you need specs. If you're designing for print, you need to know what you're designing to. So we are actually going to hop online, and I already looked it up, but we would just Google this, And this is Inked Gaming, and they make you custom playmats. You upload the image. Someone's someone's playing in the trash. This is Charlie. Charlie's my cat. I got two cats. Charlie is a little tiny gray cat, and then Lucy, and he's a big black cat. And I say that Lucy has a girl's name because he was named by a small child. It was actually like my roommate, and she was like 20 something. So it is what it is. Anyways, let me get back to the thing. Are you done, Charlie? Okay, so we're going to design ourselves a playmat, which means that we have in general what the sizes are. But we need something a little bit more specific. So we're gonna go here. Oh, I'm gonna go here where it says how do I prepare my file. Usually, if you go to printing stuff it's a little bit more online friendly, they're gonna have like all this information stuff, and if you're lucky, they'll provide you with a template, which I know that these people do. But we're gonna look at other stuff just to see what you want to be looking for, just in case they just don't have a template for you. Uh, First thing, download template if needed. Works with Photoshop and GIMP. If hyperlink doesn't work for you, copy this to new tab, blah blah. Make sure the size is 24.5 by 14.5, which is for a quarter-inch bleed around. So it's the 0.5 is divided by two sides, so the top and the bottom, each of a quarter of an inch, and the left and right each are a quarter of an inch, and that makes it a half inch bigger in dimensions. And this just so that you can, so you always want to overprint and then cut down, because then you have nice flush cuts, and you don't have to chase like a little white or black or whatever the color that you're printing on just doesn't stay there. Like even they're saying don't add solid color trim, because that's pointless. Da, 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 da. And then here's a big thing. Here's the resolution. They want it at 150 ppi, which I believe is still 300 dpi because it's pixels per inch. Oh, actually, no. Maybe they're just maybe it's interchangeable. I should look that. I should know that, but I don't. Not off the top of my head. I'll just look it up. Let's actually look it up. Let's see. This yay, it just goes to Google. Oh, nice. There's nothing here that's gross. Okay, so we want to Google PPI to DPI calculator. Oh, yeah, so they're just 118. Here, DPI, for example, equals 100 PPI. What's the difference between DPI and PPI? Resolution and image size. Let's find out. Understanding. Okay, thank you, Online Logo Maker from November 25th, 2016. I've had a long time to already know this, but you learn sometime. You gotta learn sometime. Understanding about DPI, PPI resolution, and image size is key to your design success. Okay, this tips allows you to blah blah blah. Pixel is unit measurement of a digital. Pixels define resolution. A high resolution image is an image with high density of pixels. That is with several things, but in common. The greater the number. Yeah, the more pixels per inch, the more fine detail you're gonna have in the end stuff. Okay, yeah, PPI. DPI is dots per inch. This is similar. Okay, I think I understand what the difference is. PPI is a digital measurement. DPI is a printing measurement. So let's see. Dots per inch is similar to PPI, but the pixels, virtual drive, are replaced by the number of points, physical drive, in a printed inch. There are more dots the image has, the higher the quality. Yeah, the more sharp its detail. Because of reproduction in real size of images, it requires more DPI than require PPI for the same file. Yeah, okay. 300 DPI, for example, equals 118 PPI for good printing. 30 DPI is standard. Sometimes under 50. Yeah, that's the gold standard. It's been around forever. Yeah. This is like a lot of YouTube lawyers will say it depends. That's a big thing. There's a lot of caveats in printing, but in general, that's what they're talking about. Okay, so dots per inch is sorry. So dots per inch is what's actually being put on the paper. It's like stippling, where you go through, and let's say you have like a point zero 0.01 millimeter pen, and you're going through and you're stippling. You need a lot of dots to make a full black square. Um, but in PPI, pixels per inch, that is hard math. That is just like it's 72 pixels per inch. That's 72 little squares in that inch. It's not going to vary very much. It's just for all intents and purposes is universal and is smaller. So it is much bigger. Um, I usually work in square pixels. That's not generally a great idea, but it makes my mind work easier, so I do that. And until someone says I have a requirement that requires a certain type of pixel size, that's what I'm going to keep doing. But yeah, that's in general. Yeah, that makes complete sense. It's probably something I have learned in school or was supposed to learn in school and never properly retained. So we're good. So yeah, that's a pretty high. They actually want a pretty high, pretty high resolution to begin with, which is important to know now because I was. I take it's with a grain of salt. I was designing with the idea in mind of just doing 300 DPI, which is in fact too low. So we'll just jump it up to like 450 or something. Work in that for anything raster. We'll work in that size. Your image mode needs to be RPG. This is maybe this entire company is just based around people that work more digital than traditional, because they're asking for all these print measurements to be provided, but in digital terms. They want pixels per inch, and they want RGB, which is digital color space. Um, but they want a JPEG. You'd figure it'd just be a PNG at that point. I don't know. You know what I bet it is? You know what? You know what? I think I might have just had a smart moment. This is probably all. They're just literally pulling this information out of their image processor, their RIP raster image processing uh, software. They're probably just pulling out of that the manual for that whatever RIP that they use to take the file you provide and convert it into the exact type of file the printer they use needs. It goes through a raster image processor. And this is probably exactly from that. And that raster image processor just happens to give terms in terms of digital. So yeah, so that's what we'll do. I have the template already because I've already started working on this, so I won't download it. But we were, in fact, I think it's right there. So I wonder if I could just pull that up. I wonder if I have it. I don't have it open in Photoshop, but I could probably open it up real quick. Oh no! This is the. I am so sorry. You're looking at a white screen the entire time. this is the website I was looking at. Uh, hopefully what I said makes everything I explained makes sense verbally. Because there's a lot of stuff you could have read while I was explaining it. And there's like aids and everything that you just 100% didn't get to see because I'm an idiot. Oh well, moving on. We have the template. We're gonna open the template in Photoshop. And hopefully I won't just like, yeah, Potato Party Summer. This is the desktop. Okay, so I need to go to this PC, downloads, and there it is. Let's open that up. We want to go to here, and this is. Oh, maybe if I selected the actual thing. This is. Ooh, wrong one. This is the template that we're working on. They have it to the size that it needs to be. They have the color that's the name of the bleed area. You can see it's real thin, and then they have the margins. They call it a wiggle room. It's just a margin. That's just the off space that it's not. It's going to be printed, but don't put anything you want that is vital to your design. You don't put in that space. And we're gonna actually have that. We're gonna have space that we want that, and I'll explain what it is here after a bit. Um, but we're actually not going to design this at all in Photoshop. What we are going to do though is select the wiggle room area, copy it, and then we're going to open up InDesign. And I'll show you what we're going to end up making because we are still playing catch up. This is what we're going to end up making because this is the grid that I devised for playing the game, and I just am real happy with this grid. But we're going to go back from the beginning and go through how it actually gets made. So, new file. Might help if I selected the right app. And, is there no preview? Doesn't really matter. So, yeah, so the width is going to be 24. We're not putting 24.5 because we are going to handle that with bleed settings. 24 by 14, and it should not be 0.5, it should be 0.25. And do we need any advanced items? Oh, we're going to need to turn that to RGB. Yeah, see? It doesn't want it because it's like you usually make stuff for print. You're not supposed to turn. It's supposed to be working for print and RGB. In fact, that's fair. I might leave it CMYK so I can more easily navigate the color builds, and then we'll translate that to RGB and kind of eyeball if we like the color in Photoshop later. We're going to leave that raster effects high. We won't be using any raster effects, but we're going to leave it there. And that's all about it. We're going to go ahead and create it. And here is our thing. So we have our bleed area, but we don't have our margin area. That's not something that is easily findable. It's not something that's by default makeable in InDesign. InDesign. It is in InDesign in Illustrator, and that's the software we're in. So we're going to go ahead and put our margins in. So Control R brings up the rulers, and we want. So it says 0.5, which that's not 0.5, but it doesn't really matter right now because what we're gonna do is go to guide. We're gonna go to View. We're gonna go to View. Go to Guides. Go to Unlock Guides. Now we can select it, and now we can easily put it exactly where we want it to be. They say 0.5. This is 0.5, and we can go ahead and paste in their suggested. Center it. See how it lines up. In general, exactly how it may not look. Maybe if we zoom in, it'll look more. I wonder if it is just a little bit too far. Yeah, it is actually just a little smaller than it should be. Maybe it's because we're now working vector, and it just doesn't matter because we're not actually going to use that. We're going to poke it in just a little bit more because this looks thin. And from what I am to understand, if we pull up this, it's rounded. It's a rounded mat. So if we want to put sharp corners, like just like an actual like grid corner that isn't rounded off, it'll look really weird being that close. Well, I'll show you. I'll show you real quick. We're gonna say that's 0.25 rounded corners. So let's see, let's make it M. Oh, sorry, delete that. So M is to make a rectangle, and we're gonna make it 24 by 14. Okay. Center it, and we're going to make a big red uh, stroke so that we can easily see what the corner is. And now we're going to go up here, and if we can find it, maybe we do have to select it, direct select, and corners. We're going to make that 0.25. So maybe that doesn't look right. So maybe that's too small. So we're going to go ahead and direct select again. What? If we go to appearance, is it appearance? Does that have our corners? Doesn't seem it. Weird. Where's our corners? Shape. Shape should have corners. Yeah, there we go. Here's our corners again. We're going to make it 0.25, zero point 0.5 this time. Okay, yeah, this is starting to look more correct to their drawing. And if we look at it, this, to me, doesn't look great. If we have our stuff running up to this grid, that's not going to look too fun. So we're going to take this and we're going to just pop it over 0.75. And then when we pull this down, we're going to put this at 0.75. To me, this space looks a lot nicer. In fact, we don't need this anymore. We had the information we needed in writing. But if they give you a template, use the template because you can always go back and double check the template. Right? Yeah, that's smart news in my mind. Cause like it's like $25 to ship it, and it's $25 to print, and there's probably a shipping charge on top of that. So this is probably like a 35, maybe even $40 one-time print. I'm willing to do some double checking before I send that off to my that knowing me will most likely be wrong if I don't check it. Grab that template. Everybody likes the guy who does the research to know it's right. Um, we'll hold on to this, so we're gonna put this on the guides. Some people call them die lines, stuff like that. We're not actually submitting any of these, so these are not die lines. These are guides. These are guides for us. And we need to put in. I hate guides that go on forever, especially on bigger projects. Like if I need more artboards, I don't. I want this guide to go off the bleed, but I don't want it to take over the entire thing. So we're gonna fix this. Half is at 7. Is at 7, not 4. And we're gonna make this height 14.5. Yeah, right there. There's bleed on both sides. Should be 15. There we go. That puts it an extra bit of bleed over the bleed. And we'll do this. 24 and a half is 12. And that's because this X and Y for this grid is based on the artboard, not global scale. So it's not going to include these bleeds in the math to find the center of the document. Hopefully, if anyone ever comes back to watch this, they decide that that's something important to know. And also that they can hear this. I haven't checked. This entire thing could be silent. There's like a 15-minute section of it that's just people just staring at a white screen. I don't know. All right, so we got this half put in, and we're gonna make it a little bit smaller so you can see everything. And now we're gonna throw the other side in, and this is gonna require more math because it's actually gonna be 24 point no 23.25 is where it's gonna sit at, and let's double check because I am about double checking. Now we can just throw this here, and if it's the same size, which it is, we know that we did our math right. Okay, so we can use that same math to make sure this is right, and it's going to sit at 12. And then the y is going, it's 14 tall, so it's going to be 13.25. And we do want this to be 25 wide, and we want this to, we want to select that, and we want that to be 15 tall. And now we have our grids. We have our grids, and we can apply to them. I'm gonna make that red. I'm gonna get rid of that red just because it's a little eye searing to me over a long time. And we're also going to make this down to 1 because we just need to know that it's here, not really that it has to rule over everything and is the right size. That's why it is. I'm gonna actually pull it into the center. So, what's going on? Center, so that why doesn't that look like it's on? Is it not centered correctly? What's the size of it? What's its transform? I guess it's fine. I guess that's just the way it looks. Let's take a closer look at it. Oh yeah, it's fine. Sitting exactly where it needs to sit. Okay, so we're good. We've got our grid, our guides, and we're going to lock that down because we don't want to accidentally mess with it and add another layer. And I just threw this down here because our guides layer should go over top of everything. Just because, why not? Okay, so here's the finished one. This is the counter. It's 0 to 10. This is the memory counter. If you play the game, it'll make sense. If you don't play the game, I suggest you look it up. We might do a stream about explaining the rules later on if people are interested. But I'm not going to tell imaginary people about how you play a game that is actually unimportant to what we're working on right now. So we're going to recreate that, and that is 21 squares. So we're going to let's do some cleanup first. This is not indicative. I don't think anyone would consider this smart, but this is what I do. Is that I will fiddle with color for years because I do not have a good color sense. So I go by global swatches. So that way I can, stuff that I know that I want to be the same color will be the same color always when I'm going through and fiddling what that is. So we're going to call this the grid color. And the grid is just anything that is not the background art. It's basically the most important part of what we're working on. It is going to be process color, it's going to be global, and we are going to make it 25 gray. Now let's make it 75 gray, that way it's more visible on white as we are working on it. So we go back to the right layer, make another one. Oh, wait. Control and then the apostrophe quotes key brings up the grid. I already have my grid set up for quarter-inch squares, but let's go through how to do that. You hit Control K, brings up your preferences, guides and grids, and then guides are magenta, dots. Let's turn on the lines just because I like lines better. I think I was just going through a phase there with the dots. And we're not going to worry about the grid color. Actually, let's turn it to light blue. And then the style is going to be lines, grid line every 25. So if we put this at 1 inch and then put the subdivision at 4, that is exactly the same. That is like saying grid lines every 0.25 inch. Same difference. So we're just gonna put it that way just because it's something to change. You can, if we see the grid move, then we will know that I screwed up, and I have some thinking to do as to why it moved. So let's find out. Yeah, see, grid didn't move at all, and in fact, it gave us main lines and subdominant lines, which I don't like because I can't easily see them. I guess you could see them pretty well. No, they look weird on the capture. So let's change that. Control K, and we're gonna put this back to 0.25. Nope, that is way small. I think that's a 32nd. And we're gonna put this to 1, and we're gonna hit OK. That I think will look better. Yeah, that looks nicer to me. I like that. I can see what it is. Okay. And then after we do this, we can then actually get it. We're going to go, wait, we don't need to lock our guides. We do need to snap to the grid. Now it'll always be grid size. All right. So we're going to make a rectangle 1 by 1. Hit OK. V. So we know this from here. So it's 24 from one end to another. Minus an inch and a half makes it 22 and a half, and we need to make 21 squares. So we know we have enough space to make 21. We could step and repeat, but this comes up more. The move function happen. You'll use it a lot more. So we'll go over it now. If you have something selected and you hit enter, it automatically brings up the move function. So we're gonna make this move 1 to move the size. Who the hell's making all that racket out there? Okay, to make it 1, and we don't want to move vertically. See, now you can see it's moved over, and then we're going to copy it. Copy, and we got 3, 4, ooh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's see if we have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, cool. We did it right. So this is what we have for our general grid. We don't need to make it. Let's see what happens if we spread it out across everything. Let's see if it looks nice. Actually, yeah, that's probably what I originally did, because that does kind of look nice, doesn't it? We just need that space there. Okay, cool. Let's make sure there is actually a stroke on that. We don't want that. Just want it to be like this. Alrighty. Now we get to do some text stuff. I want the text stuff to be 72. We made a text box. We don't want that. Freeform text, you just type it in. 0, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I use X just because 10 is just kind of big, and I just think X also means 10. It could also mean if you want to use it for a different game, you can use that to mean a sum that's more than 10. And get off my back. I think it looks cooler. So, alrighty. Oof. Well, nobody died, but dang. Charlie is rambunctious. Alright, so we need to not use Myriad Pro ever for anything. Um, I don't have a lot of great. I think this is what I was originally using. Do semi bold looks cool. It looks cool. Bold looks cool. Text is a lot like opinions. Having strong thoughts that you are unable to talk about or move upon makes you an asshole. But so we're not going to spend a lot of time going into the fine details of fonts for this because I've already done that agonizing and legwork. Um, and I chose a different font to begin with. I don't know. I think I already unlocked that font, so there's no. Well, actually, oh, it was Banship because it'll be. So here's your default font, and then here's the last one that you used. Okay, so it was Bondschrift. So I did it right. What? How come the 7 looks different? Is it? Maybe this is. Did I use this? 7? Probably. Let's take a look. 72. That's not the same. Is it Corbel? No. No. No, that's not the same. It's so long. It's not it. He's gonna. No, that's not it. Where? What the hell? What? Did I use Akuma? No, I didn't use that. I was surprised I didn't. Oh, I bet it's this. Bold. Yeah. You guys, everybody, let's get ready for some font agonizing. So, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, put it right next to it, and we're going to pull up Acumen. Was it this? I don't think it was that. I think it was Avant Garde. Mmm. That's so much chunkier. That 8, bro. Look at that 8. 6s and 9s look a lot. Nah, I think I made a better choice before. This is just better. Look look how distinct and cool this 2 is. And then look at it's just so this is like so this font here is like Gundam. This is Gundam. This is Evangelon. See if they're about the same size. See what I mean? Gundam. Everything's like real, like chunky and just like cool. And then Evangelon. It's still cool, but it's a lot thinner and it just leaves a lot less of impression to its form in your mind. Because that's the thing, like with Gundams, you know what the fucking RX 78 Gundam. I have it sitting over there. I can look at. Oh, I was right. It is the RX 78. You know what that boy looks like, but you think like you have a general idea of what the Ava 2 looks like, But like you'll look at a picture of it and be like, I never noticed that it had six eyes. Does it have six eyes or four eyes? We're going to look at we're going to find out. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Ava 02. See, like here. This is Ava 02. It's it looks cool, but it's just what? No, we don't want to go to. It looks cool, but it doesn't look you like there's nowhere for your eye to rest on it. It's I don't I love the design, but it's not a Gundam. Now, Gundam. You just type in Gundam, and you know it's a gun. Like you know that an Ava is an Ava, but yeah, like that like dude, you just know what that is. Like you just look at it and you're like, yeah, that's a robot. It kills things, and it looks like and it's chunky, and it's that font that I picked originally, and that I'm glad that I figured out that's what it was because I like it much better. ITC Avant Garde. Gar- Avant Gundam is the avant garde robot, and then Evangelon is the Bond Schrift. And I don't think there's been a more accurate description of the difference between the two ever stated. We're done. We're done with this, and that is dealing with fonts. There's a lot of like very like finicky structural things I could have said, but that's what every designer does when they throw a whole bunch of them up there and they're just like this incredibly talented and well-made font is utter bullshit compared to this other equally good font. All right. We're done with that. Let's see if the size is good. Actually, we don't need to see if the size. We can. Yeah, we're just gonna outline it, and now we're going to see if the size is good. I think it's gonna be good. How big is this? 0.99 Yeah, we'll be good. 0.99 is good. It's fine. Ungroup that. Control Shift G. And boop and boop. And okay, so, I should explain that. I am selecting both of the two things that I want to be this square and this shape, and then I'm focusing on the square by just clicking it once again, and then up here you can see it's moved to aligned key object. Key object is the outlined one, and then just center it in the center. You set yeah, as opposed to centering it on the bottom. I guess actually you could center something on the bottom. Um, so I'm a fool, and I'm making it hard to get to the 6. And now we do this, and we do this. You know, if I was an intelligent user of... Oh, this is all over one too many. I'm a fool. If I were if I were really good at this program, I wouldn't have made all these squares. I would have only made these 10 or these 11, and then I would just copied it over, just like rotate it over there. But I didn't do that because I'm my own man that can fly by the seat of his pants and make suboptimal life choices of how quickly I can work. also have to do this twice. Ah! Wow. Alright. Cool, 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 cool. You know what? We might do it anyway. Nah, yeah. We'll leave it as guides, but then we'll get rid of it. We're going to do is now. So this is the Pathfinder. What does the Pathfinder do? It finds path. It makes compound paths depending on how you want it to be. We want this X to come out of this square, so we're going to choose different minus front. When did it stop being different? Oh well, minus front. Now it's done. Do that again. Now it's done. Do it for all of these. And I'm sure there is a much quicker way to do this, but I'm going to cop out and say that you won't learn how to walk if I don't walk with you to the nobody watching. Hey, you need to get down. You need to get off the table. Get down. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, don't come over here. Okay, I'll give you a pet. I'm petting Lucy real quick. Alright. Now do that. And now what we do is we copy, Control Shift V to paste in place, rotate. I wish that I could get more centered on that, but hopefully the grid will do it. The grid did do it! Ah, how cool. I do need to get rid of these now. Delete. Shit. Oh, sorry, I probably shouldn't be cussing like that. But now I have to select all of these by themselves because if I just select them all at once, it's going to select both layers of them. And that's not what we want to do. So, let's see if we can. Yay, we did it. Oh yeah, I turned off the grids. There we go. Nice. And now we just delete the extra O. And we got it. So the idea is this is yours. This is your opponent. And it's facing who it's facing. I'm going to put the Pathfinder away. No, Pathfinder. And we got that done. Yay, yay, yay. Turn back on the grid. Everything aligns to the grid fairly decently. And we're back. We've got our thing done. We've done our thing. So let's get rid of that. Ooh, the logo. I like that logo. It'd be weird if I didn't, because then I would just have to. I would redesign it if I didn't like it. So what we're gonna do first is make half-inch squares. So 0.5, 0.5, Shift X, and we're gonna make them inset because what we want to do. And I'm also gonna make them bigger. Because we want these small ones. The idea is that you use the small ones to align finicky stuff, and this is generally where you play. And you're going to play around up here. Your deck's going to go there and everything like that. Because the card is about this big. And so it'll sit, like your deck will sit here, sit here, and then you can put stuff down here. Stuff here, this is where your eggs go, and then you put your guy here. Maybe that should be bigger. Actually, I do think that probably should be bigger. Let's see, let's put it this size, and then this size. We're gonna go another 2 inches over on this side, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. this a half half? Yeah, it is half half. Okay, cool. Yeah. That would take 4. So we're gonna go about an inch. I think I just liked it being inset. Maybe we'll make it less inset. Yeah. Okay. Now we move. It's 0.5, 0. Copy. 1. Hey guys. 1.5, 2. 2.5, 3. 3.5, 4. 4.5, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. I'm an idiot. 1, 2, 3. Ah! 4, 5. Okay, it is 5. And how many do we want to go over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.5. We'll go ahead and go 7. Wow, that did not keep what I wanted it to do. Let's see, that's 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, and now we're going to go down 1. Actually, we're going to go down 0.5. 5, and copy. Cool. And now we're going to make a 1 by 1. Okay. Make a V here. And now we need to know, we need to go back. We're going to lock this. We're going to lock this. We didn't need to lock this, but we're going to. And we need to drag another guide out. Drag another guide. Oh, yeah, it might help if we selected the layer that's editable. Drag another guide out. Center it. And then fix that because that's weird. I don't know why it does that, but it doesn't really matter. And make this 15. There we go. Now we have a center. See? Alright, let's see. Now let's lock it back up. Activate our active layer again. I should have moved. That would have been quicker. Let's see, move again. Screwed up. 1, 0, and copy, and copy. Alrighty. Cool. We don't have a center one anymore. Ah, I bet it's because, yeah, it's because we did the half. Actually, I think I like that better. Okay. Do we want to make it 6 on the other side? Because just this, I guess, let's go ahead and do it. Just cause. Might look weird. In fact, it might look really weird. We'll take a look at it and we'll get rid of it if we want to. Just zero that out. 1. I'm not convinced this is a better grid. In fact, I think I might be willing to cancel that actually. I might be willing to make these crunch out. Okay, right off the bat, we can get rid of some space. Yeah, I like that because it's a half an inch. Half an inch, pretty big. Let's see if this looks all done. I've given up trying to teach you to use move all the time because this is just talk too soon. There we go. All right. I don't know if I like it better. I think I like. This feels like a nice wide field, and I feel like if I got it wrong one, and I think if I yeah, if I put it, I don't need this to be that big on this side, but I think it'll be weird if this is. What are you doing, Charlie? What are you doing? Oh, thank you for not being a jerk. I appreciate it. Well, let's look at it. Get rid of these. Add two of these. Two. And W. Oh, this isn't in design. Boop. I don't like this being. I think I like it better with a. Yeah, I like that better, and then you just put it here. Yeah, I do like the wider area. It makes it look less cramped. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that is still wider than this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oops. I think it's actually that one's low. This is wider. This one's wider. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Yeah. Let's let's do that. Actually, 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 1, 2. Delete. Nope. CV. Do. Yep. It's just easier to just do this. Oh, I screwed up. Alrighty. Wow, this has already been an hour. I've just been screwing around, just remaking this. I've talked a lot about stupid bullshit though. I tell you what, we're gonna throw in. I'm gonna show you how to throw this in real quick. Copy paste. Because this is just yeah, we're gonna merge swatches. Yeah, this is just putting in this here, which means we got to get rid of these two and then center it on this. Oh, I do have scaling strokes and effects. This is 2. There we go. Got that done. And you can see, if you look at this, the outline looks a lot thinner than everything else. That's because these are two strokes meeting, so we have to add the last stroke to the other half of the stroke to the entire outside. So we're going to do that and make this 2 and make it outside. You see now everything's very uniform. I don't think we actually need this to be effectively 4 wide. So we're going to put this down to 1. And there we go. We have a nice looking little grid here. We've got our logo. We've got our number, our memory gauge. I just gotta know what to put in for the background art, but I still don't know what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and save this. And we're not gonna save it to desktop. It's not gonna, this is actually, we'll look at this before I sign off. But let's go to PC, Documents, Digimon. See, here's the Digimon mat. We're just gonna make it game mat grid, because that's all it actually is. And this is the file we had open. It's obsolete, so we're going to also fix that. New folder, obsolete, or archive. Never delete anything until you're actually done with the project, and even at then you probably still don't want to delete it. So we're going to save that here. Yeah, I guess I screwed it up because I didn't pick the documents. Digimon. That should be good now. There we go. Just the default stuff's good. I'm going to turn off the grids real quick because we don't want that to be... This is non-printable. Actually, we probably should... I should show you how to set that to non-printing so you can leave it on and it still won't screw anything up. But we'll do that another time because honestly, it'd take me a second to remember how to do that. Is it... It's not properties. Is it properties? No, this is everything properties. Is it output? It's not document info, that's for darn sure. If somebody watches this, they're just, it's not separations, previews. If someone ever watches, they're going to be like, it's this. And they're going to be absolutely correct. It's not maybe it is attributes. I think it is attributes. So we don't want any of that to be non-printing. Let's turn this back on. Select this. We don't want it to be overprint. We want it to be non-printing. And that's just not a thing that can happen, it looks like. So it's not attributes. Now I just really want to get it... yeah, I wanted it to be about an hour long, but I really want to remember how to do this. It's not color. Is it? It can't be. Yeah, it's obviously not documented. It's not. No, it's not that. This is gonna be really annoying once I figure it out. You're like, obviously. It's not. It's not that. Is it in here? It's not in here. Is it? Is it in the appearance? It can't be in the appearances. It's just to clear the appearance. No, because it's one of these things. And it'll just say non-printing. Maybe it's an InDesign thing. You know what? It could be. In which case, I'll be at this forever. never actually need be able to know what it is. Isolate blending, knockout group, opacity mask define. Normally, yeah, no. Okay, we're looking it up. We're getting to the bottom of this. We're gonna look it up. When in doubt, Google it. Hello, Gundam. How to set object non printing Adobe Illustrator. Sure. Oh, let's split that hair. How to set something not printing. How do I change print settings? Print presets? I don't think that's right. Wait, overprint, need non-printing but visible objects in PDF from template. You can set a layer. Set a layer to not print in Acrobat. Let's take a look at this. Okay, I try to make a template with some non-printing elements in it, but then when I put them on a separate layer, switch the print tick. It works fine when printing in Illustrator, but say the PDF is also that makes sense because you print a PDF. You don't export a PDF. I tried to switch off printing of the layer in Acrobat. It works well, but I reopened the PDF file and it was switched on again. Actually, I think this. So I need to turn the layer to not turn off printing on that layer. So is it this? Is it literally just this? No. 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 I don't want that. That can't be right. Click to target, drag to move apparent. Yeah, that just selects everything in the layer, doesn't it? Yeah, I just learned how to do that. That's cool. Where is it? Oh, turn off print. I guess that's it. Yeah. It doesn't seem right. Or we could just turn it off. You just turn off the layer. It does. It still exports into a PDF, but it's just not visible. I guess that. So we're gonna save that, and that's it for today. That has been my rummaging through stuff I've already done before. Redoing something from yesterday took like almost an hour and 10 minutes, but I did spend a lot of that time chit chatting around, so I guess I'm not that terrible. Yeah. This is the channel's Fartford. I guess I would be Fartford. My real name is Travis, and you can call me whatever you want. Of those two, don't make something up, please. I guess nobody's here. Who am I talking to? Goodbye.